We're number 3 in the state. We're one of the best schools in the state. We have great teachers that have been a part of Patrick Henry for many years. Welcome to day 4. We're sitting just above 90% free and reduced lunch, so we are a high-poverty school. It's important to look at students and meet them where they are and then have high expectations for them in order for us to move them forward.
As a top-performing Title I school, Patrick Henry High School has won accolades from Newsweek, The Washington Post, and U.S. News and World Report. However, this was not always the case.
In the early 90s, I remember coming over here. I couldn't believe how out of control the students were, and there wasn't much learning going on. The neighborhood, I knew some of the folks here thought the school should be closed. And instead of doing that, we pushed up our sleeves, opened up our hearts and minds, and sat down and said, what do we need to do here?
What's your metaphor, or what's your analogy? Good morning.
Hi, how are you? I'm Chad Owen. I'm the academic.
How do you go from a school that's been floundering to a school that's successful? What were the steps, what were the strategies, and how do you sustain and grow it?
I think the thing that causes the whole boat to float is really collegiality.
One key factor for the turnaround was the teacher residency program started almost 20 years ago.
So many of my friends and colleagues in other schools arrived on the first day, and they were just given a room, and then it was, now go make magic. So one of the things that was so powerful about the residency program is that isolation was broken down from the start.
The first year I received so much support and mentoring. I was able to process after almost every single class. Instead of teaching 5 classes, I taught 3 classes.
The building benefited by always having a crop of new teachers, and there were a considerable number of experienced teachers who served as mentors. And so there was a cycle that was occurring where you always had fresh, new energy, people asking questions.
It allowed us to see ourselves as professionals, which is what teachers are.
While the teacher residency program no longer exists due to budget cuts, the culture of professionalism it created still remains at the school.
Today I had a pretty successful brainstorming lesson. So
Henry has made a decision to focus on teacher collaboration, and so we get together as all technology teachers.
We have different skills, and then we just kind of help each other. And then they say that I am the person who helps bring structure. We need the collaboration time.
By asking the other teachers how it is that they're succeeding with the student and how they're engaging the student, that collaboration, ultimately I can use that in my classroom.
We have a system here where if students make a contract with a teacher that they can turn that grade into a passing grade. And that involved a lot of me talking to teachers and saying, how can I support them in here? We have dedicated time where we can work. Can they take a test in here? Can I send them to you to take a test?
At Patrick Henry, teachers have the support and flexibility to improve their craft.
We have IB, we have technology overlays, and we have kind of, again, the 21st century skills. It's almost like a chess game that we all are working together on.
I've got a lot of leeway in what we can focus on. If I have a class that just takes off on a particular subject, I don't have to take a veer hard right when they're going straight.
Students aren't widgets, and teachers aren't robots. Teaching is a very social thing. There's an art to it. You can't tell anybody necessarily how to do it, but you can help people find what works for them.
Anyone who works with kids in our building wrote what their hopes and dreams were for our students. You don't make great gains without taking great risks, and you can't take great risks if there's a fear factor of stepping out of line. Our voices are critical, and one of the problems with the current ed reform movement is that our voices are silenced or dismissed.
Not seen it work when you kick the union out and you kick out the community and you kick out the teachers and you kick out everybody, but I have seen this model work. We may not agree on everything, but when we all come together with a vision and we roll up our sleeves and put our hearts and minds into it, it works.